Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hello, Miss Poppy.
Peg.
Good to see you. Mr. Elroy James, president of Zulu, here to discuss the upcoming parade, and there are many activities throughout the year. Welcome back, Elroy. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Peggy.
Hello. And Dennis Woltering. Dennis, of course, is a producer-director, and he has a brand new documentary called They Call Him Mr. Mardi Gras. We know who that's about, right?
I hope so.
And it airs Monday night. We're so thrilled on WYES. And also with us, Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Juge, and of course also theatercriticism.com. Welcome, Alan. Poppy, a new downtown venue to savor.
Well, you know, Peggy, we're going to take a little break from Mardi Gras this week because Valentine's is coming up, and what a great thing to be able to celebrate Valentine's Day again. And I have a recommendation, several as a matter of fact. The Kimpton Hotel. People may not have had a chance to try out the Peacock Room. It is a fabulous, beautiful venue, and they are having so much fun on Valentine's Day. You can get lucky. Between 3 and 10 p.m. when you show up, they're going to give you a scratch off. You can win something. From 6 to 8, there's complimentary fortune telling. Of course, there's a delicious, delicious 3-course menu for $55. But Robin Barnes and the Lovebirds are playing from 8 until 10. That's a new sort of grouping for her. So that's on Valentine's Day, and as usual, I'd like to just say, you know, get a room. They've got some great specials. Flock to me and show me your love. There's flowers, champagne, chocolates, breakfast in bed, bubble baths, all included at packages that start at $275. So that's at the Kimpton Hotel. Then we'll move over to the Ace Hotel for something completely different. They're inviting us to roll with it. Roller skating sessions. Apparently, their Barnett Hall is big enough to turn into a roller rink. That's going to be Saturday, February 12th and Sunday the 13th. Also at the Ace Hotel, there will be a fabulous 4-course meal for just $70 at Josephine Estelle. Then, of course, my love, Isaac Toops, and every yumminess that he does over there on North Carrollton. Toops Meadery will be open on Monday the 14th. A special cocktail. How about Duck Duck Blues? Duck fat washed pisco with blueberry and jalapeno shrub.
Oh, my God.
And he's going to be serving specially that night platinum Wagyu steaks with sea scallops. But, you know, I'm a cheap date at Toops Meadery because I'm perfectly happy with cracklins, and more cracklins. That's just me. Then I always love this new tradition of Galentine's Day, when you get together with your gals on the 13th. Well, I'd like to point out the 13th is Super Bowl Sunday. Might be an extra incentive for some gals to get out and celebrate Galentine's. I recommend Jack Rose, 3 courses, including that glitter chicken and waffles we just saw, and of course, Mile High Pie for dessert.
All right, sounds very good. And moving over to Elroy, and you may not realize it, but we are in the presence of royalty because we are visiting with today the 2012 King of Zulu, but also the President of Zulu. And I love the fact that y'all have retained the name the Social Aid and Pleasure Club, because there's so much history there. But we're going to show some photos, thanks to Elroy, of his reign as a Zulu. And what a wonderful costume they had to be. The headdress they had to be pretty heavy, huh?
The parade was a little where I experienced much of the weight, but the night of the ball, where that picture is from, it was actually, I think I was running on a lot of drilling.
I think so. But there's the parade. Wow. Well, just this past week, of course, the royalty for 2022. I love this tradition of the arrival, where the Queen arrives from the airport. Now, sometimes she is coming in from out of town, but she arrived and, of course, was escorted by many Zulu members and a band. But that had to be so much fun. I'm sure you were there, huh?
Yes. It's actually a great time. It started back with actually Queen of Zulu, Gigi Tucker, and back then she was actually living in California, and so she actually arrived through the airport, and because she was coming in to the city of New Orleans to represent and reign as Queen Zulu. So it is a tradition that steeps back many, many years.
Yeah. We will be showing some scenes from the 2020, the last Zulu parade. But as we do that, Elroy, you were a Zulu kid because you're what, only 18 when you first started at Zulu? You've been a part of Zulu for a long time. And in doing a little bit of homework, of course, and we'll get to more of this, but Zulu, it's not just about the parade. It's about various philanthropic activities. Correct. And you were a recipient of one of the first scholarships. I love that.
That's right. I joined the organization at 19. And one of the first things that the late Roy Glapion did, he was the chairman of the board, and then Michael Johnson spearheaded a motion through the board of directors to award me the Zulu Scholarship. And back then I was a student at Southern University, A&M College in Baton Rouge, and it did help to defer the cost of education back then. And from there, I worked my way up through the organization, and now, after having been in the organization 29 years, I now serve as the president of the organization.
Well, congratulations. And let's talk about, Zulu year-round. Well, first of all, anybody who passes by Orleans, the corner of Orleans and Broad, knows that you all have a fabulous time, and there's lots of activities right there in the Nutri-Ground itself. And here's the parade, as we mentioned.
Yes.
But also, you all give out food baskets, to those in need. You do a lot of things throughout the year, don't you?
Yeah. That one thing that's unique about the organization, many people know us for our parade, and in particular, and the Carnation Ball, but we actually function 365 days out of the year. We provide, one of our major programs is our Toys for Tots drive, where we provide over 1,000 bicycles to kids in our community and toys. This year we added tablets to the distribution, and we're proud of our Zulu Maids program, where we try every year to award each one of our young ladies who are making their debut with the organization a monetary scholarship. And so we do so much in the community, and we enjoy what we do because we understand that what our place in the community is and what we mean to so many people.
Yeah, well, congratulations. We're really looking forward to now starting this year at Jackson Avenue. Is that correct? In St. Charles.
Yes.
At 8 a.m. And so it's a little bit different. Everybody's route is pretty different this year.
Yes.
But starting there, and tell us a little bit more about the route. You all will go down St. Charles and take it from there.
Yeah, down St. Charles, and actually the route is the same route we traveled in 2020 due to the Hard Rock Cafe. So we're traveling down St. Charles. We're making a left onto Partridge Avenue, take Partridge all the way to Rampart, which is the Elks Place on that side of Canal Street, make a right on Elks Place, cross over straight down Orleans to our traditional ending spot of Broad and Orleans.
There's so much tradition there about the fact that you go over to Orleans and Broad.
That's right.
Many years, isn't there?
That's it. I mean, if anybody that knows the organization, know the yellow building that sits in the middle of the 700 block of Broad Avenue, right? And so our parade actually ends on the corner of our headquarters, on the corner street of our headquarters at Broad and Orleans.
Well, once again, congratulations, and my hat's off to you for all of your involvement in the years. And being president, I'm sure there are many duties.
Yes, all year long.
All year long. Okay,
yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And moving over to Dennis. And Dennis, how many years in the making was this documentary?
I've spent about 2.5 years working on this documentary.
Well, I guess it takes that long for somebody with the life that Blaine Kern had. Set this up for us a little bit, and then we're going to go to the trailer. Tell us about the show.
Well, the story is about Blaine and all of his innovations. And I mean, what Mardi Gras is today is pretty much because of Blaine. A lot of the innovations in Mardi Gras, the animation, the lights, the renting floats out to neighborhoods so they could have their own Mardi Gras parades. That was all about Blaine, and that's what the story tells about.
Absolutely. Well, now, though, here's the trailer for Dennis Woltering's They Call Him Mr. Mardi Gras.
The gaudy, exuberant, larger-than-life spectacle of carnival parades draws hundreds of thousands of people to New Orleans screaming, "Throw me something!" It's an interactive parade of marching bands, dancing groups, creatively decorated animated floats, and one man's impact so profound, they call him Mr. Mardi Gras.
Folks, they call me Mr. Mardi Gras because I produce about 80% of what you all know is Mardi Gras in the world.
He grew up poor and so sick as a child he almost died.
I had the last rites of the church 2 or 3 times.
But his display of artistic talent was so impressive, he was hired to build a parade for the crew of Allah. He made that parade so appealing, so engaging, he was hired to build the most prestigious parade of all, Rex, King of Carnival. And Blaine Kern was the first to bring animation to Mardi Gras in New Orleans. He expanded participation in carnival parades to the masses by renting floats to crews that could not afford to buy them.
That were then shared by many different organizations.
With restaurateur Pip Brennan, Blaine Kern built Bacchus, the first of several super crews, despite hardcore resistance from old line crew leaders who tried to stop them.
They said, "Don't you know Mardi Gras belongs to us?"
Blaine Kern's parades increasingly broke barriers of race and sex, and then came Orpheus, breaking all barriers.
Everybody in our great city is welcome to join Orpheus.
One of his greatest achievements? Just 6 months after Hurricane Katrina left people mourning lost lives and devastated properties, getting parades back on the street.
That was the greatest Mardi Gras ever.
It was important for our soul. We're down, baby, but we're not out.
Blaine Kern made it happen.
Blaine Kern's impact transformed Mardi Gras into a billion-dollar economic engine and the greatest free show it has become today. That's why they call him Mr. Mardi Gras.
And they call him Mr. Mardi Gras. Debuts on Monday evening at 8 p.m. on WYES. It will be repeated many times, including February 13th at 10 a.m. Go to WYES.org/Mardi Gras for those other dates. And of course, a reminder, the WYES airs the program, but also streams the show, and also available on the WYES and PBS apps. But Dennis, just to talk about Blaine Kern in those early days, he's been around so long. You know, we're so used to having him. I'm so sorry we lost him. You know, but his legacy, his ideas, his enthusiasm. We were talking about earlier his exuberance.
When you would talk to him in his prime, he couldn't stop touching you. I did interviews, and the director came out one time after the show and said, that guy couldn't stop touching you. But he was so enthusiastic about all of his ideas, all of his plans. And it was really contagious. I mean, after you talked to him about what he was planning to do, you were excited about the ideas too. And he just, he loved what he was doing, and he was a big self-promoter. He admitted that. He said, I'm a self-promoter, but I believe in what I'm doing.
One of the things that I really like about the documentary is that you talk about the fact that he almost died when he was a child.
Yes, yeah.
He was very sickly, and he ended up living with his mom and some school teachers who
elderly
took them in.
School teachers, that's
because
right.
They were really, really poor. Okay.
His family was so poor that they couldn't afford $17.50 a month for the rent. So these elderly school teachers took them in, and he was so sick, he had a middle ear disease, that he almost died. This was before treatment with penicillin, when that was sometimes a deadly disease. He ended up in the hospital for several months, and those elderly teachers encouraged him to read, and he credits his imagination from reading those books. Leagues Under the Sea, the various
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
And all of these books gave him fired up his imagination. He credits his imagination for a lot of his success in life, and a lot of success in his career.
Wonderful women around him as he was growing up, building his confidence. I thought that was a very special moment. And the whole, of course, Rex connection, being sent by Darwin Fenner, then the captain, to Via Reggio in Italy to see how it's done there, to add more excitement and something fresh to the Rex parade. And anyway, there's so many stories. I'm sure it was hard to figure out what to include in the hour.
It was hard to include. It was hard to figure out what to include, and it began with his artistic talent. He was very proud of his artistic talent. And when he got back from the Army after World War II, his family was in crisis because his mother needed surgery they could not afford to pay for. And Dr. Henry LaRocca, who owned the only clinic in Algiers, was impressed with his talent and said, Blaine, if you can paint the history of medicine in a mural on the walls of my clinic, I will give your mom her surgery. He did that, and LaRocca was so impressed with what he did, he said, do you think you could build the Ala Parade? Well, at that point, you know, Blaine he was 19. He had helped his dad build some floats, but he hadn't designed a parade or anything like that. But he had this huge self-confidence that you mentioned a moment ago. And he said, of course I could do that. And he did it, and it was a great success. And on the other side of the river, they saw how this parade in Algiers was so engaging and was telling the story so well that Darwin Fenner reached out to him and invited him to do the Rex Parade and sent him, as you said, to Europe.
Yeah, there are so many good stories, and congratulations. Now, this has been a labor of love as well. But Monday night, 8 o'clock, and many other times, as we say, go to WYES.org for more information. But congratulations, Dennis.
Thanks.
And moving over to Alan.
Well, you know, Peggy, this pandemic has had some positive effects, believe it or not. And as I've indicated before, on the North Shore, a lot of the theaters who've been unaffected by some of the COVID regimentation that they've had have really been prospering. Among them, in particular, Cutting Edge Theater. They've been doing some really great, stellar work there with a number of productions. One of the shows last summer featured Betty Schaefer in Sunset Boulevard, Jovan Matthew, or she's better known JoJo. It made me take notice of her voice. For those of you who saw the film with Jennifer Hudson, Respect, this is not a book play that's being done. This is not basically the same thing as the film. It does have a lot of documentary footage and a narration during scene changes, but this is really a type of tribute show that you might see in a cabaret. It's perfectly timed for Black History Month, and if there are any seats left, I urge you all to call, go online, or do what you can to listen and revel with JoJo as she honors the great Aretha Franklin. She's accompanied by a backing track and 2 live singers. She takes us from the earliest hits like Rock Steady and Chain of Fools, Baby I Love You, and Think in the first set, all the way into some of the later ones like Dr. Feelgood, You're All I Need to Get By, and the Carole King classic, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. She's backed by Jen Gesunter and Torres Jackson. There's even a spot for him to share a duet late in the show. Again, here's one of JoJo and her kids with one of her fans. Check it out again. Respect is at the Cutting Edge Theater for just 2 nights more on the 4th and 5th. Now, we know that Ricky Graham's and the Ball and All is going to be at Rivertown for the older crowd, but what do you do for the younger set? Why not bring them to the National World War II Museum and BB Stage Door Canteen? There's Tom Hook with Victory Bells, Courtney Anderson all the way on the right, and Andrea Pizza in the center, and Hannah Rochelle. They're going to keep the kids entertained, sharing some king cake as well as musical melodies for about an hour or so, and go check that out. You can book those tickets now while tickets still remain. Meanwhile, across town over at UNO, the student production of Aaron Posner's Stupid Blank Bird, a reworking of Anton Chekhov's The Seagull, is now opening, and you can check that work out for the next 2 weekends at the Robert Nims Theater, and I'll have a review for it next week for you. Now, by the way, last week we mentioned the Playmakers Theater in Covington, but they did have a shot which unfortunately they didn't get a chance to show in, but I know we're going to have it for you. The pacing of this piece, by the way, is somewhat slow, but if you want to check out Agatha Christie's Master Detective Hercule Poirot, go check that out. That's The Mysterious Affair at Styles, and I'll catch you back in just a little bit, Peg.
Okay, thank you. Back to Poppy.
Well, I'm so happy to make this announcement about one of my favorites, Tableau. Dickie Brennan's beautiful restaurant right there on Jackson Square. Now, Dickie's chef at Tableau is someone who has just stolen my heart. He's a young man named Gustar Martin. Well, let me give you a little pedigree on Gustar. Gus Martin, the great Creole chef of the 20th century, one of the greats, who's now at Tujague's, is his dad. His grandmother was the first female floor captain at Commanders when Dickie and Gus were both in high school. So here's Gustar following in those big footsteps along with the whole next generation of Brennans. It's so thrilling to get them, to see them make their mark. Of course, I'm talking about Richard and Sarah Brennan, Jordy and Lindsay Brower. They're introducing a fabulous new menu. That's oyster pan roast like you've never had before. The oysters perfectly poached, perfectly fried, served with brie, ciabatta, cherrywood bacon, apples, and herb saint cream. And then this next dish delighted me so. It's a nod to Commander's Palace shrimp Henneken, but it's with sweetbreads, yum, and Brabant sweet potatoes, tasso, of course, pickled okra, and a crystal honey butter sauce. They've got escargot in a new way, served in a beautiful puff pastry. They're also serving pommes frites with a foie gras aioli and béarnaise. They've got new pastas on the menu, like a bouillabaisse with a squid ink pasta, and all being house-made, and truffle carbonara. Oh, there's a new brunch menu that has dishes like this pan baguette, which is salade niçoise on an open-faced sandwich, basically. So Tableau is not open for Valentine's Day, but Dickie Brennan's Steakhouse and the Bourbon House will both specially be open on Monday the 14th anyhow.
All right, thanks. Good. That's good to know. Very good. And now quickly back over to Alan.
Well, you know, recently on Broadway, Charles Randolph Wright directed the first Broadway presentation of Alice Childress's Trouble in Mind, which was supposed to be on Broadway some 65 years ago, but due to a number of problems was unable to do that. Randolph Wright is also, though, a playwright. He wrote a piece about 21 years ago that Felicia Rashad was in called Blue. And again, we hope that we'll be able to have some information more on that later on. It's really the story of an upper-class black family being put on by Slidell Little Theater from now until next weekend. And also, keeping with our Black History Month references, I want to highly recommend an autobiographical piece of Stu and Heidi Rodwall's Passing Strange. It is a retelling of Stu's life and how he found a lack of prejudice in Europe as a musician compared to his life in the U.S. Again, that's on demand now on Broadway On Demand. So check that out. And also, Peggy, another week and another Elphaba. This week, Eden Espinosa, that's the second woman to hold the role of Elphaba after Idina Menzel left the role in Wicked, will be Seth's special guest on the Seth Concert Series. Next week is Patty Murin from Frozen.
All right, thank you so much, Alan. And now, here is a new Carnival Close Up, focusing on some items from my very own personal collection. Hi, I'm Peggy Scott Laborde with another Carnival Close Up, as I share some history and memorabilia from my own Mardi Gras collection. Some New Orleans Carnival crews follow the tradition of bestowing a gift or favor to female ball guests. The custom is known of as a call-out for a dance. This tradition began in the early 1880s, and that present can be a pin. Pins can be theme-related, such as this one from the Elves of Oberon, from the early 1900s, or from the Mystic Crew of Comus, from 2008. Many are emblazoned with the organization's initials, such as this one from the Crew of Dorians. In the case of Le Crew d'Etat, we have a recent homage to the Mardi Gras ladders that often line the parade routes. Rex, also known as the School of Design, stages a reception instead of a ball. Since 1967, crew members have given female family members and friends a ducal badge, a smaller version of one that the crew member himself receives from the organization. Imported from Germany originally, they are now produced locally by Adler's Jewelry. In the more recent past, whoever is bestowed the honor of being named Rex sometimes has a limited edition signature pin made for his family and friends. This Rex Butterfly Kingpin was inspired by a Rex invitation from 1882. The Crew of Mystery is known for its ball backdrop of live roses, as this 2015 favor shows. The Knights of Chaos chose a shield design as one of its annual favors. The Crew of Athenians has staged a ball presentation for over 100 years. For its 100th anniversary in 1972, the Knights of Momus focused on the crew's tradition of honoring its roots in chivalry. These mementos represent a beloved Mardi Gras custom, and it is yet another aspect of the New Orleans Carnival, past and present. That's this week's Carnival Close Up. More to come throughout the season on WYES's Facebook and YouTube pages. Thanks for watching. And you'll find a brand new segment each Tuesday, as we said, on the Facebook page. And also it'll be on our YouTube channel as well. Time for our picks of the week. Poppy.
Oh, well, first, this would be a coup d'etat ball favor I have around my neck, by the way. And then we can't get through a week without saying king cake. So this week I'm recommending Nora Joe's Cannoli King Cake.
Woo-hoo.
Holy moly. And if you're a king cake lover like me, do not miss this Sunday at the Pito House. 20 different kinds of king cake for a good cause at St. Alphonsus. The roof was destroyed during Ida. The restoration is ongoing. They really need your help. So eat king cake.
Yes, anything you can do to help St. Alphonsus. Talk about a labor of love there. It's a wonderful facility, but yes, we need your help. Elroy, pick.
Yes, my pick of the week is the George V. Rainey Golden Nugget Mardi Gras Festival, hosted by the Zulu Associated Pleasure Club on the banks of the Mississippi River on Waterbury Park. At 5 o'clock, you will have the arrival of King and Queen Zulu by the river boat by the U.S. Coast Guard. So come out and enjoy the Mardi Gras
That's
Festival.
the Monday before, Lundi Gras. Okay,
Yes.
Mardi Gras, of course. Thank you so much. And Dennis.
Well, my pick of the week is Holly Kern, Blaine's widow, has a new line of beer and wine called Mr. Mardi Gras, and you can find that in local stores, and it's supposed to be very good. Also, I want to add that the Crew de Vue is parading on February 12th. The theme is Vaxxed and Confused, and that should be a lot of fun.
All right, Alan.
Well, the New Orleans Opera Association, don't forget them. They're having their gala coming up next weekend on the 11th and the 13th, either Friday or Sunday. Check that out, and I'll see you at the theater.
All right, thank you. And now my picks. Don't miss next Thursday's special edition of Steppin Out. It's carnival time. Yes, indeed, Thursday at 7:30 p.m. We have our annual overview of this year's carnival season with WYES's own Elroy Laborde and Arthur Hardy. Gallery 600 Julia at the corner of Julia and Camp has an opening reception on Saturday evening from 6 to 8 with all kinds of new Mardi Gras themed as a group show. William B. Crowell incorporates neon in his work as shown in his Endymion's trumpet. That's beautiful. And Linda L'Esperance pays tribute to the Mardi Gras Indians, also known as Black Masking Indians, with her wonderful painting, Green Suit. Also, check out the portrait collages by David Knox. That's opening on Saturday at Cole Pratt Gallery. But I tell you, once again, Electric Dreams, Mardi Gras theme show right there in Julia and, of course, Camp Street, too. So lots of art out there and lots of openings this weekend. Thank you all so very much. Thank you very much. Great to see you again, Elroy. Always great to see you, too, Dennis. Happy Mardi Gras. Thanks for watching. Good night.